Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take your sources, really get into them, and pull out those key insights, basically helping you get well informed fast. And today we are diving deep, really deep, into a pretty profound question, actually, from a book by Jiddu Krishnamurti. It's called What Are You Doing with Your Life?
That's right. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack the core of what this work is about, to explore the kind of, well, difficult questions it asks you to think about. It's less about finding one single answer,
Right.
and much more about the journey of asking. We're looking how it challenges conventional thinking, particularly around mindfulness and happiness.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that because that title, What Are You Doing with Your Life? I mean, wow, it's so direct, almost confrontational. Most books in this space promise to tell you how to do things. Be happier, get more done. This just asks, what does that immediately tell us about what it's getting at? This isn't just about our schedule, is it?
No, not at all. And that directness, that challenge you mentioned, that's precisely the point, I think. The fundamental inquiry here, just from the title, what are you doing with your life? It demands self-reflection, deep self-reflection. It's not asking about your to-do list, like you said, or your weekend plans. It's really probing into the essence of your existence. It forces you to look past the superficial stuff, the activities, the achievements, and instead it pushes you towards these, profound questions about your purpose, your direction, the meaning you're making, or maybe just searching for. So it positions the book right away as this exploration of, well, big existential questions, the kind many of us wrestle with, maybe quietly, but rarely face so, head on. It's like an invitation to just pause, step back from all the doing, and really examine the why, the quality, the intention behind it all.
Right. Looking under the hood, basically. Questioning the whole engine, not just the paint job. And it's categorized under mindfulness and happiness. That feels important, like a lens it uses. So when it asks, what are we doing with our lives? What kind of human experiences or thoughts does that category suggest it's focusing on? It narrows it down a bit, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. And connecting it to mindfulness and happiness, that's a huge clue about Krishnamurti's perspective. It tells us the difficult questions are probably framed within that context. Inner peace, self-awareness, real well-being. So this suggests it's not just abstract philosophy. It's meant to guide you towards a practical, lived understanding of your own mind, your own consciousness, and how that connects to living a genuinely fulfilling life. And, when Krishnamurti talks about mindfulness, it's often something deeper than just, say, watching your breath. It's more like this intense awareness of your inner world, but without judging it. Like turning a bright light on in your mind, to see the roots of why you do things, your fears, your desires. Are they really yours? Or just patterns, habits? He really pushes you to look at conditioned thought, those automatic reactions, the beliefs we pick up from society, from family, often without even realizing it.
Like thinking success only looks one way.
Exactly. Or maybe a default way you react to stress that you learned ages ago. Krishnamurti asks you to pause and question, is this thought truly mine? Or just an old recording playing? And happiness, in this light, isn't just feeling good for a moment. It's not about getting something external. It points towards something more stable, a kind of contentment that comes from that deep self-knowing, an unconditioned state. Which brings up a really key question, doesn't it? How do our actions, our goals line up with our inner state? Are they actually leading us towards that kind of mindful, genuine happiness? Or are we just chasing things, stuck in a loop? It's about the why behind the what's, really.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, aligning the inner and the outer. So the real work isn't just changing what we do, it's understanding why we do it, how our inner world drives our actions. But honestly, that sounds kind of intimidating for a lot of people, that level of self-inquiry. So what specific kinds of difficult questions might you actually expect to find in the book within this mindfulness and happiness frame? Are we talking big life choices like careers and relationships? Or is it digging even deeper into how we perceive things, how we even exist?
That's a great question. Yeah, it can feel daunting. What kind of challenges does it actually pose for you, the reader? Now, our source material doesn't list the exact questions from the book itself, but that combination, difficult questions, plus mindfulness and happiness, strongly suggests where it's going. It implies questions that probe the very fabric of how we experience life. We could anticipate questions that challenge our basic assumptions. Things like, maybe, what is freedom, really? Beyond just, being able to do what you want externally. Krishnamurti often talked about freedom from our own psychological stuff, the fears, the attachments, the conditioning, the memories we cling to without realizing.
So freedom inside your own head.
Precisely. Are you truly free if your mind is caught in those old loops? Or another big one might be, what are the actual roots of suffering? And can we really get beyond them? Not just coping, but transcending. And that points inwards, doesn't it? To thought, desire, attachment, the internal stuff that causes turmoil. The book probably also asks, how do you pursue truth? Not as some idea in a book, but as something you live right now in this moment.
Like experiencing it directly.
Exactly. Bypassing theory, bypassing what others tell you, seeing for yourself. And I'd bet it goes deep into relationships, too. How do we connect with people? Is it based on need, on expectation, or something more liberated?
Yeah.
More selfless, maybe. And yeah, crucially, how do you find real joy, real meaning, right in the middle of life's messiness? Not by running away, but by understanding it deeply, by changing your inner response. It's all about questioning those deep-seated patterns, the beliefs you inherited, what society expects, so you can find a more authentic way to just be. It's really about taking apart your assumptions to see what's actually there.
That is a powerful path. Definitely not always comfortable, I imagine. And the guide on this path, Jiddu Krishnamurti himself, for listeners maybe not steeped in his work, what can we say about him just based on this context? You know, author of this book, exploring these questions under this framework, what kind of guide is he?
Right. Krishnamurti as the author. His name alone signals a certain kind of voice, a certain kind of guidance. Just based on the context we have, this book tackling difficult questions via mindfulness and happiness, we can infer he's someone who's spent his life immersed in these deep, existential, almost spiritual inquiries. He's definitely not offering quick fixes or, easy answers or feel-good platitudes. That's not his style at all. His aim seems to be providing insights, yes, but insights into how you can navigate life's complexities. He doesn't give you the answers. Instead, his role is more to challenge you, provoke you, really, to encourage this radical self-look, demanding you observe yourself without your usual biases.
So he's trying to get you to see it, not just tell you what he sees.
Exactly. He wants you to observe your own mind, not to follow his system or anyone else's, but to free yourself from systems. His name suggests a philosophical, deeply probing approach. The journey he guides you on is one of inner discovery, maybe transformation of consciousness, not just achieving things externally or collecting more information. He wants you to see directly, for yourself.
Okay, so connecting this back to the listener, someone hearing this right now may be feeling curious about this approach. What's the real value here? What's the point maybe for you listening to engage with something asking, what are you doing with your life through this lens of mindfulness and happiness? Why spend time on this kind of intense self-look when, let's be honest, there's so much else demanding our attention?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? Why bother? Well, the potential value for you, the listener, in engaging with a book like this, it's immense. It's this rare chance for really deep self-reflection, for genuine personal insight. Think about it. We're flooded with information about the world out there. Facts, events, what to do next. This book offers a kind of shortcut, maybe, to being well-informed about your inner world.
Ah, interesting. Informed about yourself.
Yes. Your motivations, your fears, what you really want underneath it all. And by wrestling with these difficult questions, specifically through mindfulness and happiness, that's where those aha moments can happen, those moments that lead to a clearer, more authentic sense of your own purpose. This kind of deep self-check can seriously reduce that inner conflict, that feeling of being pulled apart. And it can help foster a way of living that feels more intentional, more genuinely fulfilling, more peaceful, actually. It's really an invitation to just stop. Step off the treadmill for a bit and consider the fundamental direction, the quality of your life. And that kind of inquiry, the kind Krishnamurti pushes for, it's rare today and incredibly powerful. It offers this profound inner clarity, like finding an inner compass maybe, to navigate everything with more wisdom, more peace, a kind of freedom that starts inside. And that inner freedom, that can really change how you experience everything else.
Wow. That really lands. A deep dive into just the essence of Krishnamurti's "What are you doing with your life?" It's a great reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the most valuable information isn't facts and figures you can just look up. It's about the questions we dare to ask ourselves. And maybe having the courage to just sit with the answers, or lack of answers that come up, that internal discovery.
Absolutely. Just engaging with that title, what are you doing with your life? And knowing it's framed by mindfulness and happiness. It doesn't just invite this inner exploration. It almost demands it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It really highlights that deep understanding, real freedom, lasting happiness. It often starts not with finding easy answers or following some formula, but with the courage to ask ourselves the right questions, the truly fundamental questions, even when they're uncomfortable, even when they shake up our view of things.
So maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to take away and just mull over. If the path to understanding what are you doing with your life involves exploring these difficult questions through mindfulness and happiness, what's the one fundamental question that you feel most afraid to ask yourself right now? And what might shift if you actually dared to ask it? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it sparked something for you, some curiosity to explore further. Until next time.